I'm here with Sir Gordon Tietjens, the coach of Manu, Samoa Sevens, and we're talking World Series 2017-18. Sir Gordon, good morning and welcome to the interview.
Yeah, good morning.
Look, Samoa is very fortunate to have your services, and I understand that when you came to decide, there were other options on the table for you, but why Samoa?
Yeah, there were other options, and why Samoa? Because I've coached a lot of young Samoans over many years, and I've had a lot of time for them. Some of those players that have gone on to become very, very prominent rugby players. A couple of those players are the Ioane brothers. Adi Savia is also another one who is also young Samoan, and Rodney Soialio if we go back further.
Yes.
So it was never a huge question to answer. It was just a matter of when, and the opportunity was there, and I decided to take it, and it's something that I'm really enjoying at the moment.
You were having a great time? You're fitting in well with the kick team and Samoa Rugby Union and the board and everything like that?
Yeah, like anything, they take a little while to understand the way that I coach and me as a person, and also me finding out about the union, and also finding out how the players and how to get the best out of the players. So it's not a quick fix. It's something that you have to grow into, and it's something that I'm certainly relishing the challenge.
So yes, you refer to that. It wasn't a quick fix, and it's not going to be overnight. You came in. What sort of building blocks you've had to reconstruct or put in place?
Yeah, I've always said small steps at a time, and I came off a successful, I suppose, campaign or career with the All Black Sevens team, and when you're coming to a team that's sort of right down in the list, I think they're about 13th or something on the World Series. It's about getting them up and being realistic with your goals, and that's always been my philosophy, is about small steps at a time. What changes do they have to make, and the big ones that I've really been faced with, I suppose, are around nutrition, and also conditioning, and that
Yes.
really creates the culture. I mean, you haven't got the right fuel in this particular game that we play these days, then you're going to really battle. So making shifts around nutrition, also looking at the conditioning side, being the fittest they've ever been. They're massive challenges, and challenges that I can see them starting to turn the corner, which is really positive. And the other part of it, of course, Samoans have always been very, very good in terms of physicality. Within whatever game it may be, whether it be even rugby league or rugby, the physicality is always going to be there. In the game of sevens, you can certainly still have that physicality, but you've also got to be up with the pace of the game. So it's the speed of the game that they have to adjust to at the World Series level. On the island in Samoa, it's fine. You'll get away with things. You get into bad habits, and you still get away with it. But when you're on the World Series, you get punished. So being able to keep up with the rest, it's at that pace of the game that is one of the biggest area, I suppose, from my view, that I'm working on.
And how have the players responded to that challenge?
Oh, they've responded very, very well. I can see the improvement, which is pleasing. I'd be certainly questioning myself if I wasn't seeing any improvement. Some players have had to adapt and adjust their attitudes around, what's best for the team. Not themselves, and they're buying into it, which is really pleasing. I mean, the biggest positive with Samoan rugby was getting the approval to actually contract the players, and been able to contract 24 players has been simply superb. I think the Samoan Rugby Union giving me that I suppose the flexibility to contract 24 players is a big plus, and because I've seen so many players be lost to Samoan rugby not being contracted. Now they're contracted, and basically it's an investment for Samoan rugby, and also it gives the younger people of Samoa, the school leavers that are coming from school, perhaps a career to go down the sevens path for Samoa, and then go on to bigger and brighter things.
Fourth tournament in, or coming up to the fifth tournament in of this series, or the season, and we're sitting 8th equal with Kenya. Are you happy with progress?
Yeah, I am. It's my goal this year, my realistic goal for Samoa, is to get them into the top 8. They were sitting 13th last year, so it's getting them to the top 8, and I think it's possible. We're working particularly well. We're 8th equal now with Kenya, 1 point behind USA, or 7th. So we're there or thereabouts. But it's producing consistent performances and beating the teams you should beat consistently, and that's the sign of a good team. We're starting to put some good plays together. We're starting to actually put a game plan together and stick to that particular game plan. We're looking at other teams, and players are actually taking a lot of responsibility now, and as a team, I've got some good leaders, which are really important in your side, and they're making all the difference.
Right. There seems to be a tier level in the top 10 as well. There's a top 4 super teams: South Africa, New Zealand, and Fiji, and England. Then you have Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, perhaps, or one of those teams. And then we're in with USA, Canada, and Kenya. Is that sort of the pecking order in your view?
Yeah, we've got are you talking about the Las Vegas?
I'm talking about where are the standings right now in World Sevens.
Yeah, we're sitting 8th. We're basically in about. So I suppose there's Canada and ourselves, and perhaps USA and Kenya, all targeting that area to continually stay in the top 8, and that's I suppose that's the challenge. But you never dismiss the other ones either. Spain are a very, very good side. Russia on their day can compete with anyone. So there's never an easy game in sevens rugby, and that's why you have to be consistent. For us to hit the Cup Championship in every tournament would be a real plus.
Right.
We've played 4 tournaments now. We've hit the Cups now for 2 of those tournaments, one in Dubai and of course our last tournament in Hamilton. So going into Las Vegas, we've got a particularly tough pool. We play the USA and of course Australia. Australia are probably the most improved team in the World Series.
Right. So the big tournaments this year for the team and for the tournament?
Well, obviously the World Series, you never look past that, but no doubt we've got a Commonwealth Games to represent Samoa.
Right.
Commonwealth Games is always special. You've got an opportunity to win a medal. You win a gold medal, silver or bronze. But I've been to 5 Commonwealth Games, and now I'm going to my 6th, and as the coach of Samoa, and it's a massive challenge. I've seen the pool that we're in; it's particularly tough. But to be mixing with the best athletes of the world in their respective sports, and us representing rugby, it's quite special.
Right.
It's something that the players will never forget.
The teams, we saw changes also, a team from Sydney to Hamilton, and we saw just a different result in Hamilton. Are we going to see some more changes going to the American tournaments in Hong Kong next month?
Yeah, today's today, of course, when I look to select my side to go to Las Vegas, and there's a lot of competition for places now. Imagine you've got 24 players, you only take 14 away. So it's very competitive.
Yep.
So I set standards across all the different areas, certainly around fitness. We tested yesterday.
Yep.
We've got games today, and then I'll weigh that up and make those big selections today.
And the development of the local tournaments here, you saw the Maris Sevens, the Wailima Maris Sevens, and there was the Blue Sky Sevens last year. Are you happy with the feeding program in terms of for the teams?
I'd possibly say there could always be more sevens tournaments, because then it's going to breed more sevens players. But we mustn't forget we've also got a 15s program, which we'd certainly love to complement as well. But going to the Maris tournaments on the weekend, I walked away from there with 2 young players on the island, 119, 121, and got a huge potential. And those are the players that I'd love to contract, because you need to have players coming through, and that's the only way that we'll build depth. And I think if we went back to the Hamilton tournament, I was forced into situations where I had to select new players because of injuries. And that's the big thing with rugby these days. You get lots of injuries, and sometimes they can be season-threatening injuries as well. So you've got to have that depth coming through. If you don't have that depth, then we'll always struggle. And naming 2 youngsters from that tournament was really pleasing. I know for the players, they were just particularly blown away by the opportunity to perhaps be in with an opportunity to play for Samoa. They trained with us in the last couple of days, and they're going out today, and they're going to no doubt give it their best to be in that team to go to Las Vegas.
Sir Gordon, thank you for your time, and all the best. We look forward to following the team in March and months to come.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.